Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Hopefully this thing's working now. Well, back in the dim dark days of yesteryear, about 1895, a man named Leon Nagant came over to the procurement officers of the Tsar, and he was a Belgian. He and his brother Emil had dealings with Tsarist Russia before. And Emil had designed this, the M91 Nagant rifle. Now, granted, this one happens to be a Finnish variant of it, but it's still a Nagant rifle. It started out as a Tsarist rifle. Well, after that experience, the Nagant brothers decided, well, maybe we can make some more money off of these Russians. And Leon went over there and helped him design this. This is the 1895 Nagant revolver. It's unique in that it shoots this. You'll notice that it doesn't have a bullet protruding. That's because the bullet actually extends into the forcing cone of the barrel when it fires, and the cylinder itself pushes forward as you cock it. By the way, 20-pound pull, that's a 20-pound pull on that trigger. It is brutal. Well, they made two different variants of this. One was single action for NCOs, and the other was double action for officers, because the double actions were a little harder to produce and a little more expensive to make. Well, these worked well and good up until the Revolution. And during the Revolution, all kinds of things happened. First of all, they killed the Tsar. The Tsar's family was killed with one of these, by the way. They went down into the basement and shot them all with one of these. It's an 8-rounder, so you got plenty to shoot everybody. Sad but true. Anyway, well, then Russia was plunged into turmoil. We had the Red Russians, we had the White Russians, we had all kinds of folks running around and trying to take over the government. Well, one group became known as the Bolsheviks, and the Bolsheviks bought a bunch of pistols from, of all places, Mauser. And they bought these C96 Mausers. Now, the C96 is not, their version was called the Bolo, which it didn't have the cutout for the pistol grip, for the stock on the thing. It was a little bit different, but this is a standard Mauser, and it'll do for the demonstration. Why it's necessary to demonstrate is it's chambered in 7.63 by 25. This is 7.63 Mauser. I don't have any at the moment of the daughter cartridge of this one. Well, during the 1920s, I guess it was, a fellow by the name of Fyodor Tokarev invented this, the Tokarev pistol. And basically, internally, this is a variant. It uses the dropping barrel of the 1911 Browning. It uses a very similar lock work to the 1903 Browning. It's a variant pistol. Now, this is an interesting pistol. It uses a petter system for the hammer and triggers mechanism. All of this comes out as one piece when you're field stripping it. Now, why did they go to this? This is in 7.62 by, I forget what, but it's an 8mm. That's basically an 8mm, sort of, kind of. It's really a 30 caliber. And they really were wanting 30 calibers. Why? Because they had a crap ton of these. And this is in 7.62 by 54, but it's a 30 caliber barrel. Well, Tula Arsenal and the other arsenals around Russia thought, we got a bunch of Mosin Nagants, or Mosins, M91s, and some of them are shot out, but the barrels are still good. So what we could do is cut down those barrels and make 30 caliber barrels for this. I'd take this apart, but I think YouTube says that's a no-no these days. The barrel on a Tokarev has a ring in the center of it that's sort of machined a little higher, proud of the rest of the barrel. And that acts basically to engage on the locking block on the thing. And why that? Because to machine out the 3 or 4 elegant little steps that are on a 1911 barrel or any other barrel, well, that was a little much for their nascent machining skills of those days. And they figured if they just put the trimmed down M91 barrel onto a lathe, they could trim it down and leave that much there, and then that would be the Tokarev barrel. So the originals of these were all made with cut down M91 barrels. They also made the Papasha submachine gun in this caliber. And this was in 7.62 by 25, a silly millimeter smaller. And technically speaking, you can shoot this in this, but you don't want to shoot this in this. The reason is that when they made the Papasha, the submachine gun, they jumped up the powder charge a little bit and made it a little bit more impactful. Unfortunately, the pressure curve on that is a little bit higher than a 7.63 Mauser, and you do not want to shoot a 7.62 Tokarev in a 7.63 Mauser because it will blow the gun up. If not the first time, it will the second or third time. Well, when the Soviet Union took over, this was their pistol of choice up through World War II. And they had taken over a whole bunch of satellite countries and had client states all over the world. They had everybody from Poland to Czechoslovakia to Red China in their back pocket. And they went and sold the tooling for this thing to just about everybody. It's the Type 54, I think, in China. This one happens to be Romanian. I don't have a real Russian one. Ceausescu made a lot of these. And they went to everybody and said, hey, if you're going to join the Soviet Union, and you will join the Soviet Union, satellite state, we want you to make guns just like the Tokarev. Well, the Czechs, of course, being Czechs, said, no thank you, we'll make our own, thank you very much. And they came up with a pistol design that was all their very own. The CZ52. The CZ52 is a beautiful, weird gun. It uses a roller locking system, unlike any other pistol ever made that I know of. But very similar to the way the G3 or the Setme works, if you like it in rifles. But this was basically the Czech answer to their call for a 7.62 by 25 pistol. This isn't Tokarev, but it's not a Tokarev by any means. I don't have any of the other variants on 7.62 by 25. I don't have a Papasha. I don't have any of the machine guns that shoot this thing. But this pistol here was very impactful and well, actually, this pistol was impactful, well, for the whole world. When we fought the Red Chinese in Korea, their officers had these. When we faced off against the Soviets in the Berlin Wall, they either had these or Makarovs, depending on how well equipped their particular regiment was. The Makarov was the latest one after this. It was a 9.2 by 18 millimeter. It's a weird cartridge. When the Soviets came up with the Makarov cartridge, their concept was, we don't want to make something that they can take and shoot in their 9mm pistols, because it's right in between the 9mm Kurtz and the 9mm Parabellum. But it's just a little fatter cartridge, and if you try to shoot one in anything a 9mm, it'll blow the barrel up because it's 2 millimeters or 0.2 millimeters too fat. You're probably going to crown or ring your barrel. But anyway, so that's the evolution from the Nagant to the Tokarev, which came out of the Nagant, to the CZ25. That's the litany of the Russian revolver / automatic lineage, as it were. This one, interestingly, like I said, it's like a direct rip-off copy of the Browning. The whole thing with, I think it was Chekhov on the old Star Trek original series, who said, we invented it first. No, you stole it first. Just about everything you did, you stole. Sort of like the Chinese do today. Oh well. Pistols are interesting. Battle pistols in particular, and I like to collect them. Anyway, happy trails.